It's time for the adults class. Good evening to all the wonderful students and viewers of the adults class. It is me, myself, the one and only Papa Kwamna. You can call me Mr. Smooth. We're going to be looking at what has become the very popular talk now. We started with why teens shouldn't have sex, or giving teens a reason why not to have sex. Unfortunately, we had GES also coming out with something, a curricula for sexual education, and we'll be looking at how we can help the GES with whatever they are planning to do. So it is adult class, like I keep saying all the time. If you are a regular viewer of this class, we are over a year old, and currently I can say proudly that it is the most educative adult show in the whole of Africa. I'm not just going to say Ghana, the whole of Africa. So we have a little recap of what we did 2 weeks ago and last week. What actually happens to the brain of teenagers when they engage in sex, and why teenagers shouldn't engage in sex, and why teenagers should be taught about their body parts, about sexuality, and the need for their comprehensive sexual education for all schools. Anyway, so we are zooming in straight into Mr. Smooth's classroom, and like I said, we are educating the whole of this country, we're educating the whole of Africa on how and what happens to the teenagers when they engage in sex. We started this series 2 weeks ago, and then we established that, first of all, the brain is the biggest sex organ, and I want to show you the parts of the brain. So as you see it on the screen, that you can know the parts of the brain that I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see that I have segmented the brain and labeled them in 4 different parts. I am actually looking at the frontal loop. The frontal loop of the brain is the part of the brain that I am going to be focusing this review of whatever we have done on. It is this part of the brain that is not properly developed when the child is under 21. And from birth till the child is 21, this part of the brain is not properly developed. Now let's take a look at it. When a child is 5 years, this is the way the brain looks like if you do a scan of it. Look at the blue traces. The blue traces eventually form the frontal loop. Now, when the child is up 8 years, still look at the way the brain scan looks like. And then when the child is 12 years, look at the way the brain looks like. Very, very important you take a very critical look at it. And then when the child is 16 years, you see a greater part of the brain has been developed. And then once the child is 20 years and above, you have the entire brain being properly formed, properly developed. And with this, the child is able to make decisions, the child is able to know what is right, the child is able to understand what is risky, the child is able to foresee the future, and the child is able to know what is best for him or her in relationships, in sex, and in every other sphere of their life. So, like I said, we are recapping why children or why teenagers should not have sex. We are recapping why teenagers should not have sex. And then this is supporting what GES is teaching or trying to teach. And then if there are any loopholes in there, I'm going to expose it while we have this class between now and the next 20 or so minutes. Now, next, I would want you to see the frontal loop and know exactly the role that it plays in mature people. The frontal loop, like I said before, is responsible for judgment. That makes you make that decisions. Ono na Emma, you can see what is ahead of you in your future. It allows you to see what is ahead of you in the future. It is also that part of the brain that allows you to behave in a way that will not affect your future. And then also, it is also responsible for your moral intelligence. Moral intelligence. That part of your brain is responsible for moral intelligence. It is also responsible for your abstract thinking. Onoma utum edrin eye creative. Utum eshiaze. That part of the brain, and that is what it does. And then it also allows you to see what is not obvious. Ma onye clear to everybody. That part of your brain allows you to see it. And then also, when you are in relationships, it also helps you. When you're in relationships, it also helps you make that decision. Make that decision to decide that I want to go out with this person or I want to go out with that person. And if them part of your brain and undeveloped year, you don't make good decisions. The decisions you make are based on your temporal feelings and not on proper thinking. And I said that it is this part of the brain that also allows you to understand rules of social conduct. Onama etsi mbra wa hihye atoha mo bia onu na ema etase. Ona that part of the brain and so we develop and oma etum take them decisions ni nyina. But the interesting thing o mean there, them part of your brain ya so onu na oma etum esurade fear, meaning forward thinking, the origin akwenyim, assessing risk, the able to move the eyi bomi pra ana eyi bobwom ana eyi omwom, assessing risk. It is this part of the brain that allows you to assess it. Impulsive behavior, there. Imagine me there, or them here, no, or them here, or them here, that sort of thing. So that part of wadrinan undeveloped here, you constantly will make mistakes. That part now so now, as your decisions. That part now so now, rules of social conduct and etumuzido. So if that part is not developed well, you are not fit to say you are allowed to have sex. And that part of your brain develops completely after 21 years. Intina year kade, them law now were passed or parliament there. 16 years is the age of consent. Now we'll bet them from 15 years how to use condom and have sex and all this stuff. And it will not help our children's future. Obama young man wa one, Oma young man won't take wise decisions. Mekawaha last week, no, last 2 weeks there. Smart teenagers do not have sex. Omapacha there. Aphobia bear na or na dream there or there or attain greater heights in life. Ne aspirations ye there or be a better future, or be a professional, or be a well-trained person, or be kuskuwa kwenyim na dream on konye na there. Onye beginning kada no kenyinsan another onye beginning kada no nya a sexually transmitted infection. Smart teens don't think that way. And now smart teens and they are able to anticipate, they are better, well informed to anticipate them negative consequences of them. The ebe you wouldn't ebe you won't for who I do who better to meaningful na ebe home boxes ashe wouldn't who na smart teens don't do those things. Indeed, once you abstain as a teenager, once you learn to abstain, once matured people teach you to abstain, you are able to accomplish your future dreams and your future aims. And I'm saying that research kade people are moframa woma what first time of engaging in sex or masturbating what they call what 20s man them they are able to achieve higher heights in life. And Merka, nam the research working also at her, ma wankade ma bumutrim na Merka. And that is why I bring where you can find it on the screen. So those who want to do the research, the GES people who are watching, you can do it so that you don't start teaching our kids from age 15 how to start using condoms to have sex. It will not help the future of our country. It will not help people. It will not help families. We are saying that families who have sexually active adolescents are usually the type of families who have poor performances in school. They have their kids not performing well in school. In my former way, meaning for some, no nimbesa for some, won't to mention in question. One that will fail exams. What sure? Why your mass? I wonder what's want to mean your master done, want to mean your science done. The microphone. And I'm not saying it just for saying sake. It is backed by research. Indeed, there's a very, very good relationship between timing of your first intercourse or sexual activity with your academic achievements. This is a pede a foreigners adult class and you bring a pede as what is your queen pana or a day a sure there and yim a yem meaning for some and share my wunyankofo and share my social media and share videos and share my school for a year. Now I soon because yes, a boom, a month for a year. A month for a year, on each other, or yeah, or either was so ye be because a KBA, you are not going to become what you want to become. And then also, higher intelligence, the what dream obey question, it is related to one you miss a phone, one you mean your phone nantum. Yes, or you're very, very important. And as a Aisha, a busian far, one you miss a phone done, one man why I do school. Tira Nipanangasa no abon. But if Nipan is not engaging in anything sexual, or the now wasn't, you know, beshe school no konum, na why are they? Or there, there, them as a uncle for friend and loving, there are 3 stages. And the first stage is just for self gratification, or your lust, or you're just 3 hormones, and or control Nipanadrin. I said this 2 weeks ago. It's just hormonal. And once you allow it to take place and you start having sex, you become attracted. And once you become attracted to the person, dopamine will take over. And then why dream na be say wo bibia be ni besianda eni benyinenda say enam kwa na hu benyina na so nyina because dopamine or affect what dream ye there e meye no yama and so me wa na meye no nye. So you need to be very extremely careful what you do with yourself as a young person. What you think you are feeling is not love, because love is not a feeling. If you're a Christian and you know the definition of love, you know that love is not a feeling. Love is something that you do. It's an act. It's something that you give. It is not sex. It is not that feeling that you are feeling. What that feeling you have is lust. It's not sex. And then once you get bonded to the person, some hormones take over your brain. Oxytocin will bond you, vasopressin will bond you, and these same hormones will end up destroying that very beautiful relationship you started without sex. And for men, they have no control over vasopressin, and vasopressin will determine whether your relationship with him would be okay or not okay. Once his vasopressin levels are high, he will chase you all over, follow you all over. Once his vasopressin levels drop, that is it. He doesn't want you anymore. And most men don't have control over that. And to say, any being da, on the being a pel. Say, being a kada me peunti and yemen da, or da, because on Nankasan on your done, he doesn't have control over that part of him. But it may say, you become bonded, even hug, normal 20 seconds hug will make you feel like giving yourself to the man. And if you don't want to expose yourself to these things, you even have to avoid hugging men that you don't want to have sex with for long, because once you do so, you become bonded to the person. So these are the things that we spoke about last week and last 2 weeks, and I'm saying that these things are involuntary chemicals that would make you commit. They will make you commit. You make mistakes. You make poor decisions, and this is the reason why ebonde aketesia fe no nye sebio benyin bodanfo bi nam na benyin teten o jojo o hyehyɛ na roba o briman nso na besen ntum ntwe no ho. It's because of this bond of oxytocin. This bond serotonin, this bond dopamine, these hormones or these neurochemicals are over adrenaline. Ono no man besiafo wonyim de benyini onye besiafo foreda. Just know I love him. Wonyim de benyini ohhehwe oroba or bro. Onya ode eye besi anye nete. Nso na tena ho because I love him. Now I love him so etahwa na rusu. Benyini all love on obomesa. You should understand that it is not love. It is just a feeling, and love is not a feeling. And once you have these hormones or these neurochemicals increasing in your minds, you are unable to make sound decisions. You are unable to make sound decisions. So teenagers should not engage in sex with or without condoms. I'm saying that there's nothing like safe sex anywhere in the world, and nobody should come and try to teach our kids 15 years to have sex with condoms and how to put on condoms and stuff. That can be done when they are 21 years and above, when they are properly matured and they can make firm and concrete decisions for themselves as to what they really want. So yes, the sex education is good. They should know what they want. They should know the body parts. They should know all that there is to know. But engaging in anything sexual or trying to tell them that if you cannot control, use a condom, for me, when you are under 20 years, it is not the best for your brain development. It is not the best for your mind development. It's not the best for your body development. It is not the best for your future relationships, because I said here last week that the earlier you start having sexual relationships, the more sexual partners you would have, and the more unstable you become in your marriage. Omopa chain there. Say you menyimfo ana mesafo dantama. Enyi menyimfo na nyi mesafo pii besan ansa awar. And I say awar sa obeye dzende ebutu ni benyiko ana besiako atena. Check that out. And I am not just saying this. I am backing this with serious research work. And I'm also warning young people that if you don't want to become bonded to a man or to a woman, don't hug. Don't even hug for more than 20 seconds. Because research is showing that when you hug for more than 20 seconds, oxytocin bonds you and it becomes like you've already had sex with the person. Dopamine will take over and your brain will be confused, especially when it comes to that person. So it's very important that you take very critical look at these things that adults class is teaching. Like I said, men don't have control over vasopressin. The more vasopressin men have, the more they'll chase you. And once they have sex with you, vasopressin levels drops. That's the end. That is why the man will do anything on earth to have you. And once he sleeps with you, then he's turning his back. It's just because his vasopressin level is dropped. And the same way, when a man sleeps with you and is following all over and writing all the checks for you, simply means his vasopressin went up. And how many times do men have control over that? They don't. We don't. As a matter of fact, we don't. So if you are not fortunate to have a man whose vasopressin goes up after having sex with you and starts following you everywhere, and his vasopressin levels drop or become neutral, the relationship is over, especially if it is not marriage. But if it is marriage, the man is then forced to stay, because he has nowhere to go. He has decided to be with you for better, for worse. So it is to your advantage. It is to your advantage to insist that if you were a woman, if you were a young girl, and you are growing up, I am not talking about keeping your virginity and all the stuff that people will say. I don't care about that. All I am saying is ensure that you don't engage in anything sexual in your teens. Because once you engage in anything sexual in your teens, it affects the body development, it affects your brain, and also affects your future relationships with other people. And it is very important that you men and young boys, I'm saying young boys, get to understand this. And then anyone who is not an advocate for abstinence, I am not fighting you. I am not saying that, oh, I mean, what I'm saying is perfect, but I want you to understand that young people who engage in sexual activities experience obsessive compulsive disorders. And doctors who are watching this understand that what they say is love It's not love, but it's obsessive compulsive disorder, because we all know that your hormones are neurochemicals, all our dream: oxytocin, vasopressin, serotonin, and cortisol. These four neurochemicals are what is controlling these young people who are saying they are in love. And it's apodam kakra. I am being honest, I am being frank, I am being brute today. It is madness when young people say they are in love. They don't even know what they are talking about. They don't understand what love is. Their brain is not even developed well enough for them to understand what they are saying and for them to even say they are in love. They are only basing whatever they are talking about based on their temporal feelings. And I can tell you for a fact that if you don't take these things that we teach here serious, you would affect your own self. And like I said, connecting and bonding in your future relationships would become a big problem. And then also you're going to have this problem: a cycle of changing relationships over and over and over. This broken and repeated experiences with men will continue to damage your ability to bond. And AJ and is start you and AJ on your day one for coffee as an start relationship for and then as soon you be in academy on so you and you continue to repeat it and you're looking for a man to marry you. What do you think would happen to you? You continue to experience this breakups, and finally when you decide to settle, you can't bond, because it's so that once you give your everything, the person will leave you. And I'm saying it here, that 50% of teenagers who start sexual relationships, they don't even last up to 6 months, and then they begin to have troubles. And then also, it is these same young people who have these suicidal ideas. My boy has left me, my girl has left me, I want to kill myself. And then you know of stories of young people jumping from school buildings and killing themselves because their boyfriends or girlfriends have left them. It's simply because their brains are not developed enough to understand what they are doing. Couples who cohabit, who live together before they get married, are highly, they are the people who have divorces more. When you go and try the marriage before you get married, you actually end up breaking and destroying the marriage that you got into. So teens who have multiple sexual partners are more prone to divorce. And like I said here, they sing that song, Eso Awarjaya Enyawarapa. And I can tell you that once you have that thing up in your head, you can never develop. Now, going back to what I said that research is showing that when you have sex early in your teens, your body mass won't develop. Your penis will remain the same when you became sexually active. Your vaginal canal will also remain the same just as you became when you became sexually active. I'm not saying when you have sex once or twice. No, I'm saying when you're sexually active. And once you start having sex and you are not having it, you know the pressure. Those people who are already doing it know the pressure that is on them for them to have that sexual gratification. But I can show you that sex is an energy. The sexual energy can be transmuted. It can be moved into the brain for higher learning. It can be moved into the brain for creativity. It can be moved into even other parts of the body. And I'm going to show you how you transmute your sexual energy. I'm going to show you how you move your sexual energy to other parts of your body, so you become more creative and not just throw the energy out just for pleasure. That thing is not just for pleasure. And I tell you, once you engage in sex in your teens, it becomes a stressor. You stress your body will not get what it needs for you to develop properly. And I tell you, that is why when your body has more than enough, you have a wet dream or you see a discharge in your panties when you get up as a girl. Wet dreams, let me say it very, very loud, is not spiritual marriage. It's the body's own natural way of getting rid of old sperm. Because once you reach your adolescence, your body starts producing sperm. And the sperm is also used in building and developing your nervous system. I said this and somebody said that it is not scientifically backed. I'm showing you research here that says it. So let them see it. I'm not just talking. I'm showing you research that links your throwing out your sperm, masturbating and ejaculating sperm out as a teen, affecting your body and stressing your body, or not allowing your body to develop, not allowing your brain to develop. And if you doubt it, that is a researcher. Go find him, John Morris, Ohio State University is there. Go find it. And once you get to understand this, you yourself need to stop yourself from masturbating. You yourself need to stop yourself from playing with your clit and having pleasure. That energy is needed to build your body. That energy is needed to build your brain. That energy is needed to develop the frontal lobe to make you a better person for yourself, for your family, and for the country. So don't just throw it out. We also said here that every age and a man the size of the penis. Every age. Now, I've given you the range. If you are this age in your teens and your penis size is not what you're seeing on the screen, it means you are already messing up yourself and your body is going to stop developing. Every age and the size. And I can tell you, Ghanaians, we are privileged to have the third largest in the whole world. So if you are 19 years and you have not crossed 6.25, which is the regular average of an adult, then it simply means the masturbation you started, that is what is affecting you. It's as simple as that. Now for the women, this is the normal length of a woman. If you don't get to this length, it simply means that when you were a kid, you were having sex regularly and your body was unable to develop. That's why when your husband pushes his normal size penis, you feel like he's pushing and throwing your womb out. And that is why most women who were sexually active in their teens end up getting shifted uterus. Yes, the doctors know what I'm talking about. When the uterus is shifted and sperm can't go up, you can't have kids. This is something that you shouldn't joke with. It is not something that you should play with. It is very, very serious. So studies is also showing, I want everyone to understand this before we hop into more serious areas. Studies is showing that non-virgins are less likely to use alcohol, to smoke marijuana, and to commit crime. If you know a virgin who is a thief, call and let me know, because I don't know one yet. Yes. We are also saying that adolescents who are virgins, they don't fail exams, but non-virgins fail exams. Yes, it will not be in all cases, but in most cases, yes, that's how it is. They are the ones who don't have time for school. They are the ones who are thinking about their boyfriends rather than girlfriends, rather than the books and what they're supposed to do. And then teen sex makes you dull in class. Just like I said earlier, your brain actually stops developing. It stops. It shuts down. And then all you'll be thinking about is the emotions and feelings. And then also, it makes you take unnecessary risk. You take the risk without actually thinking. Normally, so why didn't you do my pa? And I tell you, you can find this work. This research is founded. Just look for smart teens don't have sex or kiss. You will find the entire documentation of what I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks there. Great. Now, last week I did this amazing thing, and some people were telling me that, hey, I didn't count the periods, the times when they're having their periods. I said yes, people still have sex when they're having their periods. Yes. Am I right or wrong? Yes. So let's go. If you are 15 years and then you start having sex and your boyfriend is 18 years, I established here that it will take you about 10 years before the guy will be ready to marry you. Right or wrong? You are saying that you know. Yes, it will take about 10 years because then he has to finish university, do service, look for a job, and then become a little comfortable. So by 28 years before he'll be ready to get married to you. So we are looking at having sex with this person for 10 years. Now, most young men, very, very strong, they want to go 3 rounds each time they have sex with you. So he does 3 rounds times 3 in a week. Yes, or even some even do more. That makes it 9 times in a week. And then if we have 52 weeks in a year, it means that a man has slept with you 486 times. Now, if you do this calculation and multiply by the 10 years, he would have slept with you 4,680 times. Ask yourself, how many times did you get pregnant and abort? How many contraceptive pills do you use? How many emergency contraceptive pills do you use? And then if this man leaves you and tells you that I won't marry you again because you're talking to another guy, or I have seen you talking to somebody on the phone, what will you do? And then ask any young man, bisa benyin biya de onyimde besie bi wo ha obenyin ada 4,000 times or 1 nana. That is the question you should ask yourself. And then also, you, the guy who has had 4,000 ejaculations, you think the sperm production factory is there forever, that you can have sex and ejaculate all your life? A time will come when you have to come and look for mine to use. If you abuse yourself when you are young, when you grow old, your thing will die before you. You grew up together, you had all the fun together, but it will die before you. Understand it. You can't eat your cake and still have it. So that is what I want everyone here to understand. The critical question that we should be asking ourselves before you decide to get anything sexual to do with somebody is, if your partner's alone, or if you change partners along the way, can you count the number of men you would have slept with? If you change partners along the way, can you count the number of women you have slept with? And just the men count and the women count alone, like I said, adds to the high rate of divorce in this country, in Africa, and in our world. So it's important that teens learn not to engage in anything sexual. Yes, you should acquire the knowledge, you should know about it, and you should also know about the the hard truth that I've just spoken about, so that when you are making that decision, you know that you are not properly developed, and both the man and the woman knows that, both the girl and the guy knows that I have not developed well. So even though I'm feeling this, I should rather concentrate my energy on something else rather than using that energy and throwing it out just for pleasure, because that energy can be used for creativity, that energy can be used in learning, that energy can be used in healing yourself. The sexual energy is a very powerful energy, and that is the energy that is keeping this world going, because without sexual energy, this whole world comes to a halt, because nothing will reproduce without sexual energy. So you don't just throw it out for pleasure, you use it for creativity, so that you can be in tune with the Creator and its deeds and his wants. That is what you do. You just don't throw out the sexual energy. You need to understand that if you don't follow these things, these are the consequences that you would face. You have pain and suffer from broken relationships. And anyone who has experienced a broken heart before knows what I'm talking about. It is worse than anything that can ever happen to you. It is worse than when you are weaning your baby off breast milk. That one too breaks their heart, because then you are breaking the oxytocin bond between the baby and the mother. In the same way, it takes a long time. Research is showing that it takes half the number of years you have been together to be able to separate yourself completely. Why invest in a temporal relationship with everything like that to make you suffer so much? And I also tell you, you become afraid, you become confused about romantic stuff, and then even when you know, I get calls, I get messages, my guy is cheating, my guy is doing this, but I love him, I'm confused, what should I do? You know the guy is cheating, you should leave, but just because of the bond that you have with him, you can't. So don't bond before the right time to bond, because if you do so, the bond will be broken before the right time to bond. I'm saying it. I've said this over and over again. And then also, you don't have to. When you do that, you also feel a sense of betrayal. You feel you have been abandoned. You feel guilty, and then also depression and that emotional roller coaster. One time you are fine, the next moment you are sick. You go to the hospital. You can't even go and tell the doctor what is wrong with you. It's simply because you are nursing what you call a broken heart. But if you continue to be a bone, that will be broken. No, broken heart. If you have a broken bone, broken organ, when you get sexually transmitted infections, then you know you're going to die. So it's important that you take very good care of yourself and not just play around with sex and stuff like that. Now, my time is up. I only have just about 8 minutes left, so I'm quickly going to activate the phone lines and pick a number of calls. And then when we become interactive, whatever we have to add to it, we will add to it. And then we do always, next week, Wednesday, when we come, we are going to be looking at some very amazing stuff. We are going to help GES with the education that you are doing, age specific sexual education for the teens and for the young ones. I'm going to take my time and do specifically age specific, what age, what people should learn at what age, what they should understand. So you can juxtapose with what GES is doing, and then you can tell me whether GES should come look for me or I should go look for GES. All right, so the phone lines are activated, the number is on the screen, and then we'll be picking your calls immediately. Yeah, and the lines are active. You can call in because you have a very short time to run out of the studios. And then also, we are looking for sponsors to sponsor the show, this very educative show, so we can continue to bring it to you. So if you know any company that would want to sponsor this show, you can either call the numbers on the screen, and then we will talk to you and be able to have a very fine arrangements so we can continue to bring this show to you. So all the churches, all the NGOs. Hello column. We can do some messages. Okay, you say you like my outfit. Thank you very much. All right, so you okay, you need my help. Put your name and your location as well. Okay, I'm following your lectures tonight. All right, we'll have a call on the line. Hello caller.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, can you speak up a bit so I can hear you?
Yeah, this is Joseph calling from Cantonment.
Thank you. Yeah, Joseph, let's hear you.
Okay. So my question is, if someone have passed through all this process, what would the person do?
You have passed through all this process. Nothing. Oh, these things are permanent. Permanent.
So that means
permanent damage.
Have nothing to do to.
Permanent damage. Your body didn't develop. You can't go reverse it.
Okay.
Yes, that is why it is that serious. That is why it is that serious. Permanent damage.
Okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, that is it. Your body didn't develop the way it's supposed to develop. You didn't allow it. That is why most people struggle in their old age to get something doing for themselves. It's actually because they messed up their teens. All right, so we have another call on the line. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
It's not from Zanzibar.
Okay, let's hear you. Yeah, let's hear you. Okay, I think she's not talking, so we can pick the next caller. Hello, caller. Hello. Right now, more than what they teach in church these days. So, so you are saying what I'm teaching is more than what they teach in church these days? Okay, it's not just a message, it is also spiritual healing. Yes. Thank you. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, hello caller.
Good evening.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Alasan. I'm calling you from Northern Region, Zanzibar.
Okay, let me hear you, Alasan.
Yeah, I want to know this. At which age has the boy is supposed to reach before he has a sex?
Honestly speaking, the brain completely develops after age 21.
Okay.
That is what research is saying. So
Okay.
if you are age 21, your frontal lobe is completely developed, and that's it. You can do whatever. But before then,
And what are the effects of too much sex?
it depends on your age.
I mean, if somebody used to have too much sex,
It depends on your age.
unlike an
Your-
adult.
Yes,
like,
yes. What I'm saying
teenage.
is, sex is a very good thing, but over ejaculations can harm you because then you drain a lot of energy when you ejaculate. I'm sure you know when you ejaculate, you feel tired.
Yeah.
So the more you do it, the more you drain your reserve energy, and then the more you look weaker, older, and you die earlier. I am saying it. If you don't believe it, I can. So I have another call on the line. Hello, caller. Hello. I'm enjoying your show. Thank you very much. I am Abigail K. Mate from Insawam. Abigail, thank you for the message. All right, so let me go to the next one. Mr. Yeah. Hello, caller. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from? Your name and where you're calling from? Okay, somebody is saying that, Mr. Smooth, you do all with this topic. This is what we are called census, my dear. Okay, hello, caller. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Philip from that.
Okay, let's hear you.
Please, I want to ask, like, if you're on bed and you're having that person,
Uh-huh.
can you do anything to stop it?
It is just your body's natural way of getting rid of old sperm. It is nothing. There's nothing to worry about when you have a wet dream. Young man having a wet dream, there's nothing. Every young man has wet dreams. Once you're not having sex, the body will get rid of the old sperm because the body produces the sperm, stores it. When it's old, it will find a way to throw it out. So don't worry about it. It is not spiritual marriage, okay? All right, I have another call on the line. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Lapas. My name is Bright.
Okay, so let's hear you.
My name is Bright. I'm calling from Lapas.
Okay, so Bright, let's hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to know those of us like we didn't reach by age of 21.
Mm-hmm. Is it
Those
those?
of us who didn't reach age of 21, we started practicing just like we didn't reach the normal age.
Uh-huh.
Now you see, some of us we are facing the consequences like.
You are facing the consequences I'm talking about. Hello? Yes, you are facing the consequences I'm talking about. There's nothing you can do about it. You've already messed up yourself. Anyway, so my time is up. So what we'll do is all who have sent me messages, I will reply you, and then also we'll come back next week with a continuation of this wonderful education. It is me, myself, Papa Kwamna, Mr. Smooth, and Auntie Seto. We brought to you adults class on GNTV and ATV every Wednesday from 10 to 11. You can also find the recordings that we do here on my YouTube channel, Papa Kwamna Mr. Smooth. Just go to YouTube, Papa Kwamna Mr. Smooth. You find these videos there, and then you can learn and follow what we do. All right, so until we meet next week, I say be good and teach the teens to abstain. Thank you very much, and God bless all in the GNTV and ATV crew for helping this show come on live every Wednesday. May God bless you all.
Panama,